Hey guys, it's Amanda from DeGrasse Energetics, and I am here to chat with you this evening about how to actually get a sale. You know who your target market and ideal client is, but how do you actually turn that into sales and actually get clients working with you? And if you don't know who your ideal client is and you're not sure who your target market is and you're just trying to reach everybody right now in your business, please go back to the Facebook Live that I did yesterday so you can put some pen to paper and figure that out. It's really important that you do. But if you followed through with yesterday's Facebook Live and you're now ready for the next step and you're wondering, how do I get clients? I was talking to a lovely entrepreneur this evening. The same conversation came up. So I thought I'd come and check in with you guys and share some tips with you here. I want you to focus on creating content in your business. A lot of people will say cash is king. I'm going to also tell you that content is king. When you create content in your business, it gives you an opportunity to start to build relationships. People want to buy from people that they like, know, and trust. And if they are able to connect with you through your content and able to get to know you, know what you offer, and see the value in what you do, they're going to be more apt to put their credit card on the table and work with you, guaranteed. I want you to pay attention to what your ideal client needs. What are they asking for? What questions are coming up that you see online? Or what questions do you see when you're with your ideal client face to face? What is the information they're looking for? Provide them with the answers to their questions through content that you are generating, whether it's through a blog post on your website or another form. It could be video, as we're doing now. Start to build content in your business. So your ideal client searches for that content on your website and begins to build the relationship with you then, and you start to build the relationship with them. So the next time you're chatting with a client and they're asking you questions and you're seeing them face to face, maybe they're there for a massage treatment or a physio treatment, or you're being interviewed as a doula with a potential birth couple. When you're done meeting with that possible client, I want you to take a moment and jot down questions they had, because I can guarantee if they're asking them, others are also thinking about the same questions and they want the answers for them. So what I do, because I know when you sit down to write a blog post or create content, if you're like me, your mind just goes blank. You think, what am I going to write about? I don't have anything to share. What is it that people want to actually learn from me? And so what I have done over the years is, as topics and questions and things come up, I jot them down. So I have a continuous list running at all times of great ideas for content to share. So when I do sit down to create my content, the main talking points are already there. I just need to create the blog post and put it together, and then it's done. So I suggest and encourage you to do the same. Once you've created the content, share it. So share it online, whether it's through Facebook, Pinterest, Instagram, Twitter. You might be able to share in different Facebook groups. And I want you to think about also sharing that content in your email newsletters. And if you aren't working on building your list now, I'm going to be sharing lots of tips and tricks upcoming soon. But it's definitely something you want to be thinking about starting and growing in your business. And for those who already have an email newsletter list, make sure that you're sharing any of that content that you're creating in your newsletters as well. And I hear a lot of times from people, they say, well, I don't want to share that blog post on all my social media platforms and my email newsletter to my email newsletter list in many other places. You have to remember that your clients probably aren't going to see that content pushed out to all different platforms. They're not going to be on Twitter necessarily that exact moment that you tweet out about your blog post. They might have missed it in your Facebook feed. But when you share it in your email newsletter, it is going right to their inbox. And as they're scrolling through in the morning or the afternoon, whenever you happen to send it, it will catch their eye again. I also want you to think about pulling old content and resharing it. So think about a blog post that you might have wrote a year ago, but it's still really relevant to your target market and your ideal clients that you want to work with. Don't hesitate to pull out that old content and reshare it. Why recreate the wheel all the time? I can guarantee there's going to be people who didn't see that blog post that you wrote a year ago that are going to want to read it now. Another way to get your content out is to connect with other businesses who attract your ideal client. So people who are in business who don't do the exact same thing as you, but also work with your target market and clientele. See if you can swap content with them. Maybe you host a blog post on your website highlighting them, and they host your blog post on their website highlighting you. You then get access to anyone who's following them who may not be following you, and vice versa. Another great way to share content is think about your community newspapers. I know a lot of community newspapers are always looking for new content, and they want to highlight what people are doing in their areas. And so don't hesitate to reach out to your community newspaper and reshare some and repurpose some of your content that you have created there as well. So those are my tips for you today on creating content in order to build relationships with your ideal client, because when people have a relationship with you, they are more apt to buy from you. So if you're not creating content already, I want you to think about what kind of content you can begin to share and start to create that content. Create it in small, manageable steps. You do not need to go and create a 2,000 word blog post. You know what? People probably aren't going to read 2,000 words anyways. So think about keeping it short and sweet and manageable chunks. Create that content and share it out into the world so people can get to know who you are and what you do. And when you create that content, you can share it in the comments below. We'd love to see what you've created. Have a great night.